welcome back. Today we are going to be exploring the letter I. The letter I also has two sounds. It makes the sound I, but it also makes the I sound. And today we are going to be focusing on the I sound. Now today you need a few supplies, so listen carefully. You're gonna need 2 pieces of colored paper, and they really could be, one of them could be white if you choose. You can have a white paper and another piece of paper, another colored piece of paper. We're going to use scissors today. All right, we're going to use glue. As usual, we're going to have something to write with or color with, and we are going to use our letter I paper. So we have some exciting things in store, and I'll see you soon.
I love my alphabet, I love my state, and I love learning that it's great. Put the 3 together, and what do you get? You get an alphabet that just won't quit. Alligator, boat, conch shells, they don't float. Dolphins swim, you go so fast. Everglades, sea of grass. Fishing in the Gulf. Herring with the fish in his mouth. It's from mosquito bites. Jellyfish, what a sight. Sing my Florida alphabet. Stick around, you ain't heard nothing yet. It's my Florida alphabet. Sing along with me. Key deer, almost stinks. Lobster, tasty I think. Manatee, gentle and slow. Naples where the old folks go. Osceola, Indian chief. Pelican, coral reef. Waterloo, tied to sails. Raccoon with a long green tail. Sing my Florida alphabet. Stick around, you ain't heard nothing yet. It's my Florida alphabet. Sing along with me. Suntan on a winter's day. Turtle floating on the bay. Umbrella always in reach. The Peru at Daytona Beach. Water spout off the coast. Extra juicy clams you can roast. Yellow body offset steak. Zephyr Hill, famous springs. Sing my Florida alphabet. Stick around, you ain't heard nothing yet. It's my Florida alphabet. Sing along with me. Sing my Florida alphabet. Stick around, you ain't heard nothing yet. It's my Florida alphabet. Sing along with me. Sing along with me. Sing along with me.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you got all your supplies. We are going to start as we usually do with sign in. So if you can think about it and you already know whose names have I in them, then you can tell me right now. And in the meantime, I'm going to start sticking up names so that we can see very clearly who has the I in their name. So let's start with Yael. You can see clearly that she does not have an I, so we're going to put it by no. Natanya, you can see clearly that she does have an I. So sometimes, you see, different people write the I in different ways. And in this specific writing, the I is just one line down. But we are going to be learning how to write the I with 2 lines across it. So I'm going to add that to Natanya's I so that it looks like this. See, it's got a line down, one little line on top, and one little line on bottom. We're going to put that right there by yes. And then we're going to find to see who else has the letter I. Avery. No I, very good. You guys are getting so super, super amazing on this. Daniel has an I, and so I'm going to add that little line on top and line on bottom. There we go. Daniel, he has an I as well. I'll put him right under Natanya. We got Jacob. No I. Good. Cameron. No I. That's right. Manny. No I. Paxton. No I. Good. I don't know why I'm reading these names out to you. You guys know who these are. That's right. That's Moshe. Who's this? Good. It's Grayson Liston. How about that? Very good. Grayson Bennett. He does not have an I, and the last one is Benny without an I. Super. So how many people do we have in our class whose names have an I? That's right. We have 2. So if 2 of our friends have the letter I in their name, and everyone's name is on the board, how many people are on this side of the board? If this side has 2, and all our friends are on the board, how many friends do we have? 12, very good. So 2 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 plus 10 equals 12. Good, let's count them all. So we know we're right. Always count to make sure you're right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You guys did it. You figured it out. Now how about if we have everybody on the board, so we have 12 children on the board, and we take away the 2 children who have I's in their name. How many children are left on the board? We counted them, so we already know. If we have 12 and we take away the 2 whose names had the letter I, how many do we have left over here? If you said 10, you're correct. And let's count to make sure. We had 12 altogether, right? We counted 12. Now we took 2 names away, and let's see how many we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's correct. We have 10 friends left on the board. If we 12 minus 2 equals 10. Okay, so now let's get started with writing the letter I. This is an uppercase I, and we always start at the top. The red dot lets us know to remember to always start at the top. So this time we start in the middle. Some words start right at the dot, and some words start in the middle. So we're going to take our marker or our crayon or our pencil, and we're going to make 1 line down. We're going to jump back up to the top, and we're going to make our second line. Our second line is going to go across, and then our third line is going to go across right at the bottom. So let me show you that right here. So we're going to start at the top. Okay, we're going to make 1 line down, jump back up, 1 line across, and it touches that top tip of your line, and the second one also touches the bottom tip of your line. So everything's all attached together. So we have an I. An I is really one of the easiest letters. It's pretty easy because it's just got one line down, one line across up at the top, and one line across down at the bottom. And then a lowercase I is even easier because all it is a short line down and a dot on top, just like that. You guys try it now. Good. You try. Long line down, jump back up, small line across, small line across. And then the lowercase I is just a short line down. You jump back up and you make that little dot up at the top. Very good. Now, one of the words that have the I sound, so I don't know if you remember from the beginning when I said that the I makes two sounds. One is I, like in ice cream, but we're not going to be focusing on that sound right now. We're going to be focusing on the other sound that the I makes, and that is I. So one of my favorite things that starts with the I sound is an insect. And an insect, there are all sorts of different kinds of insects. So I'm going to read this book to you, and after that, we are going to make a picture of our favorite insects. So insect, you see, is spelled I-N-S-E-C-T. S spells insects. If it was just insect, it would not have the S. It was just the I-N-S-E-C-T. Good, let's get started. Does anybody know what this is? That's right, it's a praying mantis. A praying mantis is called that because it always looks like he's praying. He's got his legs up like this, looks like he's praying. So let's see what else we got. A little bit closer, you can see these pictures are amazing. There's a close-up of tiny, tiny little bugs. Insects live everywhere. There are insects like flies and cockroaches in houses. How many of you have ever seen a cockroach in your house or a fly? Flies usually go to the window because they're trying to get out and they're buzzing, buzzing, buzzing because they can see the outside, but they don't understand why they're not going outside. They don't understand there's a window and you can see through the window. And even though you can see through, you can't get through. That's why a lot of flies go to the window. There are insects like grasshoppers and beetles in gardens. How many of you have ever seen a grasshopper? We had some grasshoppers in our classroom this year. They weren't real, but they looked exactly like that. It's one of the plagues, remember? That's also an insect. There are insects like ants and bees in parks. How many of you have seen ants and bees in parks? I have. We've seen them in the playground, haven't we? Yep. There are millions of different types of insects in the world. That's a lot of different kinds. Let's see what those are. Those look like little beetles. But all adult insects have 6 legs. 6 legs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 antennae. And they all have 3 body parts called the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. The head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Some insects, such as butterflies, can fly. Some insects, such as fleas, jump. And some insects, such as weevils, walk. This is a weevil. It walks. You see, it's got the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. The head, the thorax, and the abdomen. Some insects, such as water striders, even walk on water. Have you ever seen that? I've seen them in lakes where they kind of glide on top of the water. Most insects lay eggs, which hatch into little baby insects. Look at all of her little babies that are going to hatch right there. Those are all eggs. Many insects change their shape as they grow older. For example, the butterfly. We all know the butterfly starts out as a caterpillar, right? And then it goes in a cocoon and it becomes a butterfly. Some insects, such as aphids, are very, very tiny. Look how tiny they are. We read a book the other day about a grouchy ladybug who liked to eat those. Some insects, such as stick insects, are very big. Look, it looks exactly like a stick. That's why it's called a stick insect. Some insects are dangerous to people because they can spread diseases or because they can bite or sting. I guess such as some bees, right? We don't really want to go near them or bother them because they could sting or bite. But if we leave them alone, they're pretty safe. But insects also do important work like making silk and honey and pollinating plants. Who knows which insects make honey? That's right, bees make honey. Do you know what makes silk? Little worms. There are worms. They're called silkworms, and they make silk, which is a beautiful, beautiful fabric. So I want to read you one other thing about insects that I found. One of our favorite authors, his name is Eric Carle, and he wrote this book all about different animals, animals, and I found a page that's all about insects. So I wanted to take a look at it because he also shows the insect has 3 parts of the body and 6 legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's got the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. This is where its heart is, right here in the thorax. And this is where his stomach is, right here. So let's read about it. Every insect, ant, fly, bee, is divided into 3. 1 head, 1 chest, 1 stomach part. Some have brains, all have a heart. Insects have no bones and no noses. Did you know that? But with feelers they can smell dinner half a mile away. Can your nose do half as well? Also, you'd be in a fix with all those legs to manage 6. Then he wrote something about ants. The ant is knowing and wise, but he doesn't know enough to take a vacation. Ants are always very, very busy. They do not take vacations. They're always, always working. I don't know if you've ever looked down and seen a bunch of ants and they're busy, busy, busy. They're building a hole or they're bringing home food for their families. They really work very hard. Crickets, we cannot say that crickets sing, since all they do is twang and wing, especially when the wind is still. They orchestrate a sunlight hill. Have you ever heard crickets at night? They make a beautiful sound. And in the evening blue above, they weave the stars and moon they love. Then peacefully they chirp at night, remembering delight. So cool. Little thing about crickets. They got a bee here and a big hungry caterpillar that turns into a butterfly. Good. Lots of information we got today about insects. So what I wanted you guys to do today on this piece of paper is make your favorite insect. So I decided that I am going to make, hold on, I'm going to make a ladybug. That's my favorite insect. So let's pull my paper down. I got myself a red piece of paper. Okay, so I have to remember to make 3 parts, right? Because my ladybug is going to be an insect and therefore needs to have 3 parts. So I got my head right here. Right, I can make him some eyes. And 2 antennas. Remember it told us they have 2 antennas. And it's got a second part right here. Okay, and then the bottom part, the ladybug is split in 2 where its wings split, right? And it's got 2 sides, which you could actually just make into a circle. How many legs are we going to make our ladybug? 6 legs, that's right. We got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And what's missing on our ladybug now? We got one thing missing. Ladybugs have black dots on them. That's correct. Let's get some black dots on our ladybug. And now I want to put it into some grass, and that's why I chose a green paper, My green paper, I'm gonna make some grass. The grass, you could really just make some zigzags that go like this. Zigzags is an easy way to make grass. I'm gonna cut out my insect. That starts with an I. I'll just cut it around the edge. You see, you don't have to cut perfectly. See, when you cut something out, you can just cut around the edges just like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just cut it around like this so I can put it in my grass. And I'm gonna write the word insect right on top. I, jump back up, write 2 lines. N-S-E-C-T, insect. And I'm gonna glue on my insect before we go on to our I words on my trusty yellow pad. All right, I'm gonna glue on my favorite insect. There's my insect. And I'm gonna get my trusty, handy dandy yellow striped paper to write the words that begin with I. So, of course, we already did insect. I-N-S-E-C-T. By now, you should know how to spell insect, right? Now, a lot of words have the letter I, but they don't really have pictures that support them. So we're going to try to think of words that start with the sound, but they don't really have pictures. They just are words. Like, for example, impossible. Impossible. There is no picture for impossible, right? But you could put impossible into a sentence. For example, it is impossible for me to jump onto the roof of the house. That is impossible. However, here's a word that does have something. It is kind of like a lizard, but it's much bigger. And some of them, they're in Florida, they're all over, and they got spikes on them. It's a big, big lizard, and they got spikes on them, and they usually live near water. Can you think of what that is? If you said iguana, you are correct. Iguana, I-G-U-A-N-A, iguana, iguana. So now let's jump to another word that does not have a picture. Imagine, imagine, imagine starts with the I sound, I-M-A-G-I-N-E, but it doesn't really have a picture. It's got 2 eyes. Oh look, impossible has 2 eyes. Imagine, imagine. I can imagine what it would be like to jump onto the roof. Even though it's impossible, I can imagine that I was strong enough. I can pretend and imagine I was strong enough and big enough to jump onto the roof. Imagine. Good. Okay, now let's see if you can figure out what these are on my measuring tape. You know what these are? They're numbers. Good. But what is each of these in between each number? Do you know what's in between each number? Those are inches. Inches. Inch, inch starts with the letter I, inch, I-N-C-H, inch, inch. Good, I-N-C-H, inch. Okay, can you think of another word that has the I sound, I? If, the word if. If you guys came to school today, I would be really, really happy. If. Good. What is the opposite of outside? Who can tell me? What is the opposite of outside? That's right. Inside. Inside starts with the I sound, and it's got two I's in it. Inside. Very good. Good. We got a lot of words here. So I'm going to move on to our H page. And one of the things that I'd like you to do with me is I have some of these. I know you might not have these at home, so you can use a marker. But I'm going to put these on top of all of my I's on the bottom of the page. And I want you to help me. So let's start at the top line. So if you can tell me how many lowercase i's you see at the top line, I'll start putting these on and we'll be able to see them together. So here we go. Good, I see one right there. You see it? Good, one I, one lowercase I, two lowercase i's. Can you see that? Can you see through? Oh, there you go. You see that? You can see through it. Two lowercase i's, good. We got three lowercase i's. And you see any more? That's right, there's one more lowercase I right there. You got it. All right, let's move on to the second line. My beads fell down, so I have to fix them up. All right, second line, guys. Let's see. What do you got? We got, good. I see one, two. I see one lowercase I right here. I see another lowercase I. Good. Are there any more? That's right. We got one over here. And now our last line. I don't see any uppercase I's. Do you guys see uppercase I's? I don't see any. I got one lowercase over here. Good. One right there. And one here. Wow, that's a lot of lowercase i's. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is a lot of i's, you guys. And now we could move on to our middle part, which, by the way, we usually have two words that start with the letter that's up here, and I think today we may only have one. Who can tell me what it is? We didn't write it here, so you got to figure it out. All right, is it giraffe? No. Is it apple? Does apple start with the I sound? No. How about igloo? Igloo. If you saw igloo and you knew that it started with the I sound, then you are right. That's right. Igloo starts with the I sound. How about eggs? Does eggs start with the I sound? No. Okay, now I'm going to talk about something because now we've been through a few vowels. Vowels. So vowels are letters that are in every single word in the English language has a vowel. And the vowel lets you know what sound the letter in front of it is going to make. For example, if I just had the letter L with nothing next to it, what would it say? L, l, l. But if I put an A after it, it says la. If I put an E after the L, it says le. If I put an I after the L, it says li. These are called vowels. A, E, I, O, and U are all vowels. We have 5 vowels in the English language. And I have a little song that can help you remember them. A, E, I, O, U. 5 vowels in a tune. A, E, I, O, A, E, I, O, A, E, I, O, U. And you can practice that whenever you want because that will help you to remember what a vowel is. So let's continue on this. So if L-A says la, and L-E says le, and L-I says li, what does L-O say? If O makes the ah sound, then L-O would say la. And how about L-U? U makes the sound, so that would be la. La, le, lit, la, la. So each vowel lets you know. See, because if this was a D, it changes this sound, but this sound does not change. So if it was just a D, it would just make the D sound. But if we have an A after it, it's da. If we have an E after it, it's de, di, da, da. See that? So vowels are very helpful. And we can put a little ending on them. So D-A-B would be da, b, dab, dab, good. D-E-M would be de, m, dem. D-I-D would be di, d, did. D-O-T would be da, t. And D-U-G would be da, g, dug. Dab, dem, did, dot, dug. See how helpful vowels are? If we didn't have these vowels in the middle, we would not be able to spell these words. We need the vowels to spell those words. So you can finish this part all by yourself. You're going to color the I, and you're going to trace them again like I showed you. And keep practicing your I sound. It's not easy. And the song that we learned. A, E, I, O, U. 5 vowels in a tune. A, E, I, O, A, E, I, O, A, E, I, O, U. Hi, everyone. I love you. I'll see you next time on Hummy's episodes.